Hey there everyone! Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into topics that really matter. Today we're tackling a big one: burnout versus laziness. Ever felt like you just can't get anything done, but instead of feeling relaxed, you're overwhelmed, exhausted, or even guilty? You might be burnout, not lazy. Let's break it down with 10 telltale signs that you're dealing with burnout. But first, let me introduce myself with a little joke. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. All right, let's get started. Burnout feels like waking up tired, no matter how much sleep you get. According to a study published in the journal Psychology and Health, burnout-related exhaustion isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional. You might find that even on days when you're able to rest, you're still dragging your feet. It's like charging your phone all night only to realize it stayed at 10%. Laziness, on the other hand, usually passes after some rest or motivation. If exhaustion persists despite adequate rest, it's time to consider burnout. Think of it like trying to wake up with a dozen alarm clocks and still needing a GPS to find your coffee. Burnout kills your drive. You might want to get things done, but you just can't bring yourself to start. Unlike laziness, this lack of motivation often comes with guilt or frustration. According to the World Health Organization, burnout is defined by feelings of energy depletion, so it's not about not caring. It's about not having the energy. You may even feel a sense of dread when thinking about tasks that you once enjoyed. It's like your brain saying, "We're closed for renovations, indefinitely." Or as if your motivation took a vacation and forgot to leave a forwarding address. Do you find your mind wandering constantly, even during tasks you once enjoyed? A study in the Journal of Occupational Health Psychology found that burnout impairs cognitive function, making focus a real struggle. You might find yourself rereading the same sentence or forgetting key details in conversations. It's like your brain has 50 browser tabs open, and you can't figure out where the music is coming from. Laziness doesn't usually come with this mental fog. It's more about choosing not to engage, rather than feeling unable to. I once spent an entire afternoon trying to remember the name of that actor from that movie. You know, the one with the thing. Turns out, I was just burnt out. Headaches, muscle tension, and even stomach issues? These are common physical manifestations of burnout. The Mayo Clinic highlights that stress-related physical symptoms are a key differentiator between burnout and a simple lack of effort. You might also experience frequent colds or illnesses because chronic stress weakens your immune system. It's like your body is waving a little white flag and saying, "Can we stop now?" If your body feels as worn out as your mind, that's a strong sign it's burnout, not laziness. And remember, if your body starts making more noise than your alarm clock, it's time to listen. Burnout often makes you emotionally numb. Like a robot on low battery, you might feel disconnected from your work, loved ones, or even yourself. It's like your Wi-Fi signal to emotions is weak. It's like you're going through the motions without any genuine connection. Just call it zombie mode. Imagine logging into life but getting hit with an error message, server not responding. Time to reboot. Laziness doesn't typically come with this kind of emotional weight. It's more like a software update you keep postponing. If you're noticing a lack of care or empathy toward things you once valued, that's a sign to dig deeper. Or maybe just check your emotional Wi-Fi. When you're burnt out, you might find yourself thinking, "What's the point?" Cynicism is a hallmark sign of burnout, as noted by psychologist Christina Maslach, a leading expert on occupational burnout. It's a way of mentally distancing yourself from stressors. This negativity can seep into other areas of your life, making everything feel more bleak. It's like looking at the world through a pair of pessimism-tinted glasses. You know, the kind you get for free with every burnout. Laziness, on the other hand, doesn't usually involve this level of pessimism. If you're seeing the world through a consistently negative lens, burnout might be the culprit. Burnout often makes it feel impossible to accomplish anything. This isn't about not trying, it's about feeling stuck. Research shows that burnout reduces workplace productivity and increases errors. You might feel like you're putting in the same or even more effort but seeing fewer results. It's like running on a treadmill that's going nowhere but somehow still exhausting. This decline in output can add to feelings of frustration and guilt, creating a vicious cycle that's hard to break. Narrator: I once heard a story about a guy who was so burnt out, he accidentally sent his grocery list to his boss instead of his report. His boss replied, "I think you need more than just milk and eggs." Sometimes a little humor can highlight just how off track we can get when we're burnt out. Burnout takes the joy out of things you used to love, even hobbies or spending time with friends. This lack of pleasure is a major red flag. You might find yourself avoiding activities you once looked forward to, not because you're bored, but because they feel like a chore. It's like the fun switch in your brain has been turned off, and you can't find the remote. Maybe it's under the couch cushions? Laziness, however, doesn't usually affect how you feel about fun activities. If you're missing that spark, it's worth reflecting on whether burnout is to blame. Burnout makes every task feel insurmountable. The American Psychological Association states that feelings of being overwhelmed are a core symptom of chronic stress and burnout. Even small tasks like responding to an email or tidying up can feel like they're too much to handle. It's like trying to climb Mount Everest while wearing flip-flops. Not exactly the best footwear choice, right? This constant state of overwhelm can make you feel like you're drowning in your responsibilities with no clear way out. Maybe we need a lifeguard for adulting. Perhaps the biggest difference between burnout and laziness is guilt. Burnout comes with this constant feeling that you're not doing enough, even when you're pushing yourself to the limit. Laziness doesn't usually involve this level of self-blame. You might find yourself replaying situations in your mind, criticizing yourself for not being more productive or effective. It's like having an inner voice that constantly whispers, "You should have done more," while you're already running on empty. This guilt can weigh heavily, making it even harder to recover. It's like having a personal trainer who only shows up to tell you you're doing everything wrong. So, how many of these signs do you resonate with? If you suspect burnout, please know that you're not alone, and it's not a sign of failure. It's a sign that you've been doing too much for too long. Take this as your cue to step back, recharge, and seek support if you need it. Thanks for watching, and remember, you're not lazy, you're human. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. And hey, if all else fails, there's always coffee and cat videos.